Yo, what is good, YouTube? In today's video, we're getting into the top 5 meta SMGs you guys need to be using here in Warzone. If you enjoy this video, be sure to give it a like for the algorithm, subscribe, notifications turned on, and let's get into it. All right, so the first gun here we're taking a look at here today is going to be the Jackal PDW, one of the best SMGs, if not the #1 SMG in the entirety of Warzone right now. So our first attachment is going to be the long barrel. By the way, I have my face cam up here since people are talking about us covering attachments or us covering pros, cons, whatever it may be. So I have it up here. Hopefully this is a good spot for it. But we have this as our first attachment. The long barrel is just to extend our overall range. It's really useful, especially when you're just using it as a regular SMG. Kind of bridges that gap between AR SMG range. Gets you a little bit closer to the point where you don't have to feel like you should be using your AR for something. You can run the SMG and feel okay. So this is really nice, and I like this quite a bit. After that, on our barrel section, we go for the Ranger foregrip here to help with our horizontal recoil control and our overall sprinting movement speed. This is really solid, helps you just move around, kind of evade some gunfights. It's a little bit more difficult, I feel like, now in Warzone to evade some gunfights. I feel like you either go down really fast or you feel like sometimes your feet are stuck in the mud, and that's just kind of the way the game is playing right now. And they definitely have to fix some stuff, don't get me wrong, but overall the Ranger foregrip should help you feel a little bit faster. Magazine section, we're gonna go down here and throw on the Cinemag 2. This is gonna give us 50 rounds in the mag. I find this to be unbelievably useful, and it's something that I would highly recommend for you guys to do. Not Extended Mag 1, Extended Mag 2. Rear grip section, we go down and throw on the ergonomic grip, and this helps with our slide to fire, our dive to fire, and our ADS speed. If you guys are paying attention to the on-me movement here in the game, getting in and out of these different sliding animations sometimes can be a little bit cumbersome if you don't have a gun that is built out for it. So when you have a gun like this that is going to be built out for slip and sliding around and being very agile and mobile, this will greatly increase your chances of A, winning a gunfight, B, surviving to fight another day, and just kind of see coming out on top with that win. So we're gonna go ahead and run the ergonomic grip. Lastly, in the stock section, we're gonna go throw on the balanced stock. And I just really like this quite a bit. I mean, some of the other recommendations would be maybe the infiltrator stock for the aim walking movement speed. But when I go down here for the balanced stock, I get aim walking movement speed, I get movement speed, hip fire movement speed, and strafing movement speed. I get like 4 really great things as opposed to just only getting 1. So I really like this and getting a little bit of everything. And it's just really solid. So you get the nice little 2 arrows across for all those things. Really nice, and I'd recommend for you guys to go and try this exact Jackal PDW setup out. Next up, we're actually going to be taking a look at a Modern Warfare 3 gun, the BP50, which is an AR. You have to run the Jack Revenger kit on it, making it, of course, into an SMG. This has basically like the second fastest TTK in the entire game right now. Even after the update and a couple, attachment changes, it's still unbelievably good. So you guys should be trying this out. I know it's going to be something you have leveled up as opposed to the BO6 guns. So, of course, first attachment, and here's the Jack Revenger kit. After that, we're going to go all the way over here. Actually, just the second one, we're going to go throw on the 9mm high grain rounds, which is going to be really nice. I definitely recommend for you guys to go ahead and try this out. High grain rounds just make this thing more effective. Of course, increase your bullet velocity and your damage range, just making you a little bit more effective at farther distances. This thing's got a very easy to control recoil pattern. It's arguably a lot easier to use than any of the BO6 guns, just because it's very simple. You just have to pull down on your stick a little bit, and that's really about it. After that, we're gonna go over here to laser. We're gonna throw on the Kimura RYL33 laser light. This gives you a myriad of benefits: aim locking steadiness, tack stance, spread, sprint to fire speed, and aim down sight speed. It's making you more effective at close range. I don't gotta explain this one too much. We ran this exact attachment back in MW3 Warzone. This is a very similar-ish build to what we ran, but there's a couple of changes to it. After that, we're gonna go up in here to the rig up section and throw on the CCG tack tape. This gives you tack stance, spread, and sprint to fire speed. This is something that I really like. I mean, if you're trying to go for an attachment that's going to make this gun faster, you guys should be running this. And otherwise, I'd probably say to go ahead and run the TRST IV grip tape for that increase in recoil control. So if you don't feel like you need a little bit more speed, go for the recoil control, and pretty much you can swap this attachment out and be totally okay. Lastly, though, we're gonna go over here to the muzzle, and we're gonna go way down to the very bottom. This attachment here, the VLK Colas Flash Hider, however you pronounce it, basically. You should go ahead and try this thing out. It gives you that muzzle flash concealment. It also greatly increases your damage range, which I was just kind of a little bit boggled by, but you guys can go ahead and run this. The damage range is honestly, not too bad. Increases it out by, what is it? I don't know exactly what it says here. I'd have to go and unselect and maybe reselect. It says it increases your damage range about 15.1 meters to about 15.7, and then from 37 to 37.9 to 39.3. So overall, it is a pretty solid attachment. If you feel like you want something that helps your recoil control, just go for your standard quartermaster suppressor. It's kind of a little bit more tough to find some of the attachments in here, but you can just go for the quartermaster wherever you happen to find it at the very top right there, and you'll be totally good. And that's an almost identical build to what we ran in MW3 Warzone. So this right here is, of course, my full build for this gun. Next up, speaking of MW3 guns, what actually clocks in as being really good is the Striker 9. Kind of a little bit weird that the Striker 9 after all the updates is really good, but when you factor in how they buffed and nerfed and changed everything around, the Striker 9 does come out on top as being one of the better SMGs to use. So this will be another one that's very familiar to a lot of you out there. So of course, first attachment is the Quartermaster Suppressor. Been using this forever. Don't really got to explain this one too much. Just keeps you off the radar and helps your overall recoil control. I know a lot of people be kind of going to where all the gunfire is, so if you can keep yourself a little quieter, it does help you out. After that, barrel section, we go for the Striker Recon Long Barrel. This gives you that bullet velocity and range and aiming idle sway. We're not too concerned with all the different cons this thing gets with the hipfire, tac stance, spread, aim locking speed, sprint to fire, all that. We really just want to make this thing truly a little bit more effective, because I mean, your effective damage range is 12 meters, so we don't really want to lessen that. This is the most effective you can possibly make this thing, minus if you go for that VLK, which you can probably put that on there, but you'll be loud and proud, of course. So that's kind of a little bit food for thought. Enter barrel section, we're gonna go throw on the DR6 hand stop, ADS speed, and sprint to fire speed. This does almost identical things to what it did in MW3 Warzone, but it's not, of course, the same exact attachment. It did alter a lot of these things. Like, I think the Brune Heavy support grip on some guns doesn't even do recoil control anymore. It does something totally different. So just kind of look at these and make sure, even if you have builds that you're familiar with, look at the attachments and make sure it does the same thing, because they did change a bunch of stuff. Magazine section, to go throw on the 50 round drum here. Pretty simple, just gives you an increase in magazine ammo capacity. I really like that. I don't feel like I should be running the 40. I feel like the 50 was just always the wave here on this gun, so you just go for the 50. And lastly, we're gonna go to the stock section just to speed this thing up a little bit with the Striker factory stock, giving you that aim locking speed, movement speed, and of course sprint to fire speed. Or my bad, not sprint to fire, sprint speed overall. You guys, if you want to, could try something else like the Lockman MK2 light stock. This will mess with your overall gun kit control a little bit more, so be wary. If you want something that's getting more mobility, you're gonna have to deal with more recoil. Unfortunately, they didn't take away the cons, these attachments in BO6 Warzone. It looks like only the BO6 guns go largely without having cons on their attachment. So this is my full build right here for the Striker 9. Now getting back into Black Ops 6 weaponry, we're gonna take a look at the KSV, which is a very early level unlock SMG. So I'm sure a lot of guys will really like that. A lot of the early level guns are really solid. So of course, first attachment is the long barrel. This can increase our overall damage range. I do have that beautiful diamond camo on my SMGs, ARs, LMGs, and a few other guns. I don't happen to have dark matter just yet. I will get that eventually, but long barrel is the way to go here for this gun, just making you more effective. Gets you out to that nice 18.1 meters, which is pretty ridiculous if you ask me. That's even like 6 meters farther than that Striker 9, but gotta of course hit some shots. On a barrel section, we're gonna go for that Ranger foregrip, horizontal recoil control, and sprinting movement speed. This makes you faster, helps you evade some of them situations that you might not want to be in. I personally really like this quite a bit. I've been running it on a lot of my guns, even ARs, for instance. I've been running that. Magazine section, we're throwing on the extended mag 2, just giving us that 50 rounds in the mag. Just, this is more of a higher fire rate gun, I want to say, at 800 rounds per minute. It's not slow, it's not super fast, but you're going to blow through ammo pretty quickly, especially when you're playing, you know, multiple squads, or maybe you feel like your accuracy is not right there, so you're going to be going through rounds anyways. You should just go for the extended mag 2 and kind of call it a day at that. Second to last here, we're going to throw on the ergonomic grip once again, the Ergo John. We're going to throw this thing on slide to fire speed, dive to fire, of course, ADS. Makes you just really effective at close range, so ain't got to elaborate on that one too much. And then lastly, we're gonna go for the balance stock here once again, increasing your strafing movement speed, hip fire movement speed, and aim walking movement speed. A little bit of a mouthful, and I don't really know why. You can see next to my face cam, it's like a little hard to see some of these pros the way they have this thing built, but and it's what it is. Maybe they'll fix the UI a little bit differently. The UI, I'll tell you guys right now, the UI is leaps and bounds better than it was. Maybe not the create a class screen, but the overall main menu is unbelievably good in comparison to what it was. We don't have any more of that Hulu crap. But this is my full build for the KSV. Last but definitely not least, we're gonna get it into the C9, aka the MP5. This is, of course, a very early level unlock. If you rock, let's say, the XM4 and C9, you'll be totally okay and have a great time in Warzone. So I'm happy that, you know, the early guns aren't, you know, bad, because that'd be pretty terrible for people just getting on the game and truly playing through only Warzone and Plunder. But first attachment is the suppressor. We're gonna keep you off the radar with this one. It's gonna be really nice. And for you guys that are wondering what's kind of on my gun, I have it's the Teddy's Nightmare, or whatever it is. It's the first prestige variant, because I'm 4th level 30 right now. So you guys can, that's what's going on right there. And I also have a nice little charm. Second, we have the long barrel on this thing, increasing our damage range. A lot of these SMG builds look kind of similar. We don't really got to switch stuff up too much. It's just trying to extend out the range, make it more mobile, so on and so forth. Underbarrel section, once again, the Ranger foregrip. I mean, I don't gotta explain this one for the 5th time. You guys kind of know what it does, but this gun feels in particular very nice. I just enjoy the mobility I have with this, and even with the suppressor, this gun feels very recoil wise, very manageable. And I like that quite a lot. Magazine section, we're gonna go down here and throw on the extended mag 2. Gets us that nice 50 rounds. I know the flip mag might be more appealing to some people out there just because you can get, get right back into it. And sometimes the extended mag, or extended mag 1, for instance, was kind of a bit of a pain in the ass to use. Even in multiplayer, it just felt like it was too long of a reload. Extended mag 2 doesn't feel all that bad, but if you guys don't want to run this and you feel like the reload's too slow, go for the flip mag, because of course fast mag 2 is only 25 rounds, which is nowhere close to acceptable for Warzone. The only reason this would be acceptable is because you can flip the mag in and out and get a reload in when somebody most likely is still going to be reloading with their extended mag. Lastly, we're gonna go through on the ergonomic grip here. Like I said, I mean, slide to fire, dive to fire, ADS speed, really great things here to have on a grip, and it makes you really more effective at close range. So that is gonna be my final gun. If you guys enjoyed this top 5, give it a like, subscribe, notifications turned on, check out this other video on screen. I'll see you guys all next time.